So we should be live now on YouTube and Facebook, and we're going to go live on Instagram. Today, I know we've touched on it many times, but again, just focusing on those gentle pauses when we just take normal breath in, normal breath out, and just pause the breath. Because quite often we think that when we pause the breath, we're going to run out of oxygen. We're certainly not running out of oxygen. We're actually getting oxygen, a little bit more efficiency of delivery of that oxygen from the blood into the cells. For some reason, it won't go live on Instagram. Good old technical issues this morning. Why is that not working? Bear with me 1 second. If it doesn't work, then we'll just have it on YouTube. That's all right. No, it's not working on Instagram. So come up to your standing position. And we'll do our mobilization first. But then what we're going to do is we're just going to, as we go through some of the movements in the mobilization, but also in some of the gentle stretches and stuff, we'll just add a few pauses in the breath. And we'll do some of the Qigong flow with a few pauses in the breath. Let's start off with our feet shoulder width apart, connected to the ground, just going into knocking. I was doing a little class, not myself, I was joining in a class at the weekend, and they were talking about setting intentions, and it can all sound very sort of like, oh, I'm setting an intention for this session. And it was just like, enjoy it. And I think that's what is a nice thing to do. It's just enjoy what you're doing. So just breathing gently in and out through the nose. Let's bring the arm that swings across the front just to tap those points in a light fist into top of the lung point. And then into your shoulders. Just cupping the hands there, getting into your shoulders. Back to chest. And back and belly. Slowing down. And then just standing, bringing your feet hip width. Stand tall. We're going to do spinal cord breathing, but I really want us to lengthen out the breath. So as we breathe in, I'll just explain first, we get to that point where we just hold a little bit at the top. Now the movement is still happening, so I'm still moving, holding the breath a little bit, and then I'm breathing out, and then I'm pausing the breath at the bottom, so I'm squeezing. It's a couple of beats. So I don't want us to feel air hunger at all. I want that pause at the top, pause at the bottom, or hold at the top, pause at the bottom, or however you want to visualize that. And remember, when we're having that hold or the pause, there's a very subtle increase in carbon dioxide. So when we get a subtle increase in carbon dioxide, it's almost like we're getting more oxygen. We're not getting more in effect, but you're getting almost like a squeeze of oxygen from the blood into the cells. So you're getting more efficient oxygen delivery, because CO2 is the key to unlock the blood cells to get that blood get the oxygen, sorry, from the blood into the cells. Also, when we have that little pause, a little increase in CO2 works as a vasodilator, so it helps with blood flow. We're also building up nasal nitric oxide, so when you take that next breath in, again, you're getting more oxygen uptake, you're getting better oxygen delivery in the lungs. So gentle pauses, it shouldn't feel strained, it shouldn't feel pushed, and you go at your own pace. So we're doing that with our spinal cord breathing. So we're breathing in, stay there for a second, and then breathe out. Pause at the bottom for a second, breathe in. Now you go at your own pace, because again, I don't want you to feel any tension or strain. Even though you're pausing or holding, there's still a rhythm. Just do two more. And then when you've done that, just take a rest. Have a little shake if you need a bit of a shake. Let's do palm to the ground and then reaching up. And there we'll do that little, if you wish. So with this, we're breathing in. There we hold, little beat at the top, and breathe out. And then breathe in. So here we're just adding that little pause or hold at the top for a couple of beats, and then breathe out. Even though I'm holding. There's almost still like expansion. I'm still feeling a little bit of expansion in the ribs. I'm still feeling a little bit of expansion in the fingers. I'm not just stopping. And again, you're going at your own comfortable rhythm. Keeping that spine tall. The next one, we're just going to take a little bit of a lean over, so a little bit of a side bend. So as we hold, we just have that little bit of a side bend. So you're squeezing an orange there, and then we breathe out. Lengthen first, so tall first. Squeeze your orange. Next one, you're going to squeeze your orange, but then you're going to breathe in there as well. So hold a position, but breathe here. If you want to, you can rest your hand on there to breathe into those side ribs. The ribs and the movement there, so you can feel up a little bit. And as you breathe out on this one, I want you to pause for a couple of beats at the end of the exhale. So you're breathing in and expanding. You're breathing out. Feel those ribs settle in a little bit, couple of beats, hold. If it starts to feel uncomfortable, just stand tall. You do one more breath if you're there. And then slowly back to center. Swap sides. Breathe in, squeeze your orange. Now, it's always good to feel there. I mean, you don't have to, but it's always good just to put your hand there. Can you feel? Breath in. Can you feel the ribs moving? Breath out. Little pause at the end of the breath. Go up to maybe a little bit higher. Really breathe into those side ribs. Not forcing though, not straining. Little pause at the bottom. And then very slowly come back up. And just stand for a second, have a little bit of a shakeout if you need a shakeout. This side for me, yeah, I can feel the movement. That side is like, oh yeah, it's really stuck a little bit around here, around there, around there. So again, just play around with that. It's about, remember, we're creating the space for the breath. And then also with that little pause, we're just giving almost like, think of it as like a little squeeze of oxygen, a little boost of oxygen. Let's step back with one foot, and we've got the weight predominantly on that back foot now. So you'll feel that little bit of a stretch there, maybe through the front of the hip. Again, we don't want to force anything. And then we're going to breathe in and breathe out. And in and out. When we get to the top, we're just going to do that little pause. It's like suspension, waiting, 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 and then breathe out. And repeat, breath in. Float at the top for a moment, and then breathe out. Now go in your own rhythm. Feel how that spine, how the shoulders move and work, the top. No rush. Just do one more. And then rest. Shake out if you need to shake out, and then we'll swap sides. So again, we're not lunging back or anything like that. It's just a step. You've got your heel on the ground. We've got slightly more weight through that back foot, but obviously you've got weight on that front foot as well. And then just repeat. So whichever side you were on before, feet are parallel as well. Feet are hip width apart. Everybody looks down at their feet to see where their feet are. So feet parallel, feet going in the direction we're going, nice and stable. And then breath in, breath out. And again, does it feel any different? Do you perhaps want to put more weight on that front leg? Does it feel more fluid down that side of the body? The other thing that helps with this as well slightly is when we come up, just have a slight glance up. So you're almost like lifting the chest up a little bit. You're not opening, lifting there too high, but it just gets that upper back working as well nicely. Softness in the elbow, the shoulders stay down. I'm not reaching up. I'm just lifting my arms. Let my arms just flow up. A little pause and then float down. It's almost like, you know, the feeling when we're doing water waves, where there's like slight resistance. So I'm not stretching, I'm not trying to reach up. Everything just floats up, little pause, and then floats back down. Good for balance as well. Let's do 2 more. And then take a rest. Have a little bit of a shake out. Let's put in the one of the Qigong flows in the 5 elements. So remember tree sways in the wind. So this is great for adding that little pause at the bottom of the breath and hold at the top of the breath. So we're pausing here, we rotate, we're breathing up the side, we rotate, holding there, and then we breathe out. So let's start with our feet, again about shoulder width apart. Let's go parallel feet. Palms facing upwards, tall spine, and then rotating to the side, breathing in up that side, and then holding at the top as you rotate, breathe out. And then pausing the breath at the bottom as you rotate to the other side, and inhale, hold at the top, exhale. Remember, we're moving all the time, so there's still flowing movement. Pause the breath, inhale. Also, when we're holding, pausing, however you want to frame that stop in the breath, it's not strain, it's relax into that hold. It's just having a little rest. Finding your own rhythm. Do one more to each side. And then rest there. Have a little shake out. Just let the breath settle, just standing tall for a moment. We're going to add that little pause of the breath or hold of the breath with tiger. But again, I really want to make sure that we're not forcing this. I don't want any strain. We just want that short pause. So we're going to breathe with the movement. So you go as low or as deep as you want to. If you just want to make a small movement, it's not forced. I don't want any strain. I don't want the hold to be a, got to hold the breath to hold this position. It needs to be a rest. It's almost like I'm just having a rest. And we'll do it first of all by breathing in. So as we go down, we'll just take a gentle breath in. And you're just going to hold and then breathe out. And breath in. Breath out. And notice, even though I'm holding the breath, I'm still creating a little bit of movement. So I'm still moving with the hands and getting to the point where I'm going to hold. Find your rhythm. It should feel challenging, but it should actually feel quite calming and relaxing. If you start to get out of breath, just take a rest. It's not about forcing. Do two more. It's having so much fun. I just realized it's 8:30. I'm breathing in. Now, next, the new core membership team. What I'm going to do for our next monthly class is just break down some of these movements because now we have just those smaller groups where we can actually talk to each other when we're doing the classes on a catch up on those master classes. Then I just want to break down some of these movements a little bit. Just bringing your feet together, closing your eyes. And as you go through the day, notice when you unintentionally hold the breath. And that tends to be if we're in sort of like maybe a thoughtful situation where you're thinking, also in a stressful situation when we maybe tense up a little bit. And we know that our body is doing that because it's helping for that short period of time to get that oxygen delivered into the cells. It helps with focus and concentration. Helps when you take that next breath in, nasal nitric oxide. Also helps to what we call vasodilate, open up the smooth muscle, the airways. But there's a big difference between that hormetic stress, that short pause, as opposed to a forced, strained hold. Now take a full breath in, step out, have a little bit of a brush down, and I will see you on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the day. Hope the weather's good over there in the UK. It's about 35 degrees here today and yesterday, and lots of mosquitoes. I'll see you Wednesday. Take care. Bye bye.